This is not the first military intervention against a sovereign state in the name of justice. They tried to impose their model on others, inevitably bringing death, destruction, desolation, and dilapidation. Nor is it the first time that they retreat hastily and resignedly, ridiculed by the whole world in a complete failure.
We're at a point where we clearly have moved from major combat activity to a period of stability and stabilization and reconstruction and activities.
The Americans are determined to bring their own political system to Afghanistan, a country with completely different history, culture, and circumstances. And they did establish an elected government in Afghanistan. But the right to life is the most fundamental right of the Afghan people. These are the fatal attacks in Afghanistan in 20 years. American researchers believe that the war in Afghanistan had cost about 241,000 deaths, including more than 71,000 civilians. However, the number of deaths due to diseases, lack of access to food, water, infrastructure, and the indirect effects of war cannot be accurately counted. On a field road not far from the village in Kunduz, northeast Afghanistan, more than 90 civilians were killed in missiles fired by American F-15E fighter jets supporting the German army. In the end, Germany announced that it would pay $5,000 to each victim's family. In Khujani district, Nangarhar province, eastern Afghanistan, 30 people were killed and more than 40 were injured in a drone attack on more than 200 farm workers resting in a field.
These people were working in the fields, making very little money. Don't the Americans see that they were just working and gathering pine nuts? Why do they attack ordinary workers?
In northern Helmand province, southwestern Afghanistan, at least 40 people were killed in a drone attack on a wedding ceremony. Most of them were women and children. By the first quarter of 2019, the number of civilians killed by U.S. and the coalition operations had surpassed the number of civilians killed by rebel attacks.
Now, Army First Lieutenant Clint Lawrence is a free man.
The killers were pardoned by the President of the United States and were not even deprived of military honor. Hospitals were also bombed. At Kunduz Hospital, 30 people died. Many were shot and killed by planes after escaping from the burning building. At Bagram Air Base, the secret prison is twice the size of the infamous Guantanamo, but the number of people in custody is 3 times that of Guantanamo. When prosecutors of the International Criminal Court wanted to investigate these war crimes, the United States declared it would boycott these actions to uphold human rights.
You should not assume that you will still have or will get a visa, or that you will be permitted to enter the United States.
Many people have lost their lives and many more have been displaced. Now, 18.4 million of the 37 million population in Afghanistan are facing the shortage of food, drinking water, and medical care, and need humanitarian assistance. More than 6.7 million people have become refugees. Since the tents used by refugees are donated by international organizations, they can be easily identified by satellite. Here, hundreds of people use one bathroom, lacking water, food, clothes, and everything. This is the place where human rights are violated the most on this planet. And it has also become a breeding ground for terrorism and extremist religious forces. However, the perpetrators claimed they would give the Afghan people freedom and democratic rights, and therefore implemented military intervention. What they have destroyed is not only human lives, but the future of a country and generations of its people. After 20 years, the Afghan people have lost faith in the democracy and freedom promised by the Americans. In the 2019 presidential election, only 1.8 million people voted,